Just 55% completion percentage, sacked 6 times and fumbled twice. That right there is what Deshaun Watson did on Monday Night Football. Completed 55% of his passes. He's been an absolute mess since he was back there. And listen, what the Titans were able to do week 2, right, last week, get out there, get that win over the Chargers, and you see this is going to be a grinded out kind of gutty team. It's going to be about defense. It's going to be Mike Vrabel getting the most and squeezing all the little juice out of it that he possibly can from this team. But, in reality, they don't have necessarily a ton of talent if you're the Titans compared to what we've seen before. You don't know what you're going to get from Ryan Tannehill week after week after week, and I think that's going to make things really, really complicated for them. Though they were better at least in the red zone, right? They scored touchdowns on 3 of their first 4 times inside the red zone last week. So if you get the good Titans, that's a win. If you get a bad Titans, this could be a low-scoring game. I bet the under in this, and it could be 2 really bad offenses.
This is such a pros versus Joes game. I don't really want anything to do with it, honestly. This is a big stay away for me. It would be the Browns or nothing for me. Both of these two teams want to do the same thing. They want to be able to lead with their defense. They want to be able to run the ball, and they want to be able to take the pressure off of their quarterbacks who aren't very good. Browns at the crib. Titans' offensive line and pass pro has been horrible. Ryan Tannehill has looked very messy. Derrick Henry is getting the ball a lot of times. I think he had 25 carries last week for 65 yards or something like that. But like you said, Nick Chubb is out. Now they've got a couple of backs that you got Jerome Ford, you've got Kareem Hunt. Yeah, I think even though you're past the key number, I think it would have to be Browns for me just because of the offensive line issues that the Titans have. And the Browns have the second best defense in all of football right now.
This moved around just a little bit, so now we got Green Bay minus 1.5 totals, 42.5. They're over at BetMGM, and Jordan Love looks good, man.
Yeah,
he looks. This is the first time though that we're really gonna. This is his first start at Lambeau, so he's had 135 career passing attempts. 11 have come at Lambeau, so it was only in relief of it, like that. That's all that we've seen from him so far. I had to do a double take on this. Jordan Love leads the NFL in passer rating at 123.2.
Wow.
He's having a great start to his season.
Yeah, he really is. If you go back, though, you pop on the tape, you'll see Jordan Love should have got pick 6 last week. Mm-hmm. He's been throwing from clean pockets. Now he's got to step up in class against that Saints defense. If this game is on the road, I like the Saints. If we got a 3, I like the Saints. At this number, I think it's just dead to me because the defense for Green Bay was so bad again last week in the second half against the run. They stopped the pass because that's what they're built to do. Even though Eric Stokes won't be back for a couple weeks, you still have Jair, even though it's been a down couple weeks for him compared to his standards. You have Rasul Douglas. Rashawn Gary's working his way back from that ACL, so he's really only playing on passing downs right now as a pass rusher. But I don't know that the Saints are going to be able to run the ball on Green Bay. You know what I mean? You don't have really anybody healthy. Jamal Williams is out. He's officially out for this game. So no revenge game for Jamal Williams. Kamara's not back for another week. So the areas where you could take advantage of Green Bay's defense, I don't know that the Saints are going to be able to do that, which means more Derek Carr dropping back, which could mean a couple picks for Derek Carr against that secondary and against that pass defense. And I need to see more from Jordan Love. And I also want to see what Green Bay looks like come game day. Is Christian Watson out there for the first time this season? And is Aaron Jones back? Because if he is, then I like Green Bay in this game on the money line, minus 120, because you need some weapons for Jordan Love. Jaden Reed's fun, but he's a rookie. And Romeo Doubs is beat up right now.
Unbeaten, 2-0 Commanders. Bills 6.5-point favorites, totals 43 here. It's gone down slightly. I think it opened around 44.5. There may be some weather. It really depends on where this whole storm off the East Coast is going. So that's one of those difficult things where it's like, do you want to try to play this game with the thought that there's going to be some weather? Is it going to slow it down? Looks like early Sunday morning you're going to get a lot of that rain up there. A lot of it's going to be Saturday on the East Coast, especially kind of where we are. Once you get to that point, is the field just going to be sloppy? They have a terrible field. They've had a terrible field for a long time. New owners haven't had a chance to change that yet, so keep that in mind. But, yeah, this is right now a Commanders team that's tied for the league in sacks with 10, but they've also given up 10 sacks, which is tied for the second most. So if you want to get down to maybe some sack props, this would be the game to do it.
Go ahead, Ryan.
All right, so this one, I can't wait to watch this. And I do have a prop bet. I got Brian Robinson under 14.5 longest rush. I just thought that number, I was surprised. I figured we would get 12.5 going against the Bills' run defense. Originally, I liked the Bills here, but now the weather, that's going to change some things. And also, I went back and I watched both teams, and Sam Howell looks really good. Washington, looks a little bit better than I projected. I bet under really big, 6.5 wins. I'm probably going to lose that bet. But the Bills' offense, and I've been killing Ken Dorsey the last 2 years, ever since Brian Daboll left, they switched everything up. More shorter passes. They're running a bunch of heavy. I think Ken Dorsey sat down with Josh Allen. He's like, we got to limit these turnovers. We're going to roll with more 2 tight end sets than any other team in the league. And that's why they drafted Dalton Kincaid. And I know they're working him out of the slot, but they've ran more 2 tight end sets than any other team. And that's where the Commanders' defense really struggles. They struggle to defend those looks. And then I'm actually looking at this total, 43. I lean Commanders now. If we get back to 7, I like the Commanders. At 6.5, I'm just going to stay away because originally I liked the Bills in this spot.
Did it pop to a 7 briefly again?
It was like anytime it does, it did yesterday, and then it got beat right back down to 6.5 because everybody wants the full touchdown. And it makes sense.
We're not going to have Bryce Young in this game, so great we got Andy Dalton, but at the same time, Bryce Young has kind of struggled to start this season off. I mean, he's combined for 299 yards passing and 2 touchdowns in the first 2 games. It hasn't been great. Offensive line hasn't been great. We knew that coming into the season. We knew that that would be a problem. Seattle, though, is 30th in passing yards allowed this season. So, Andy Dalton, out there a veteran starter, maybe there's a chance that Andy Dalton gets this offense moving a little bit quicker.
I can't believe I have to watch Andy Dalton play the quarterback position.
We don't actually have to watch it. You can just not put it on your screen.
No, we're watching this one because this is the Ryan Horvath big bet of the NFL Sunday, unfortunately. I'm going chalk. And I love that it went down to 5.5 because I thought this was actually going to close 6.5, 7.
Same.
Good thing is Seattle has a bunch of injuries on their offensive line. Not a good thing for us here, but like they proved something to me last week. I was worried about our Seattle bets after week 1. A little bit of an overreaction, but losing to the Rams, like that's a bad loss. Then they go into Detroit.
But is it a bad loss anymore, though? I don't think it's a bad loss anymore.
No, I mean the Rams are 2-0 against the spread. Yeah, they covered even against San Francisco. McVay finally covered against
We thought
Shanahan.
the Rams had no offense, and you're like Puka and Tutu.
Yeah,
Hold
the
on.
Avengers
That's
of
why
Puka and
McVay
Tutu.
did it. Maybe that's why McVay did it, is because everybody has been just giving him a really hard time, saying McVay never covers against Shanahan.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't. He never is able to. He's like, Shanahan owns McVay, and he's like, I'll show you who owns who.
I'll kick this field
that
goal."
meaningless field goal.
I would have did it too. Like I would not even like just with the point spread. I want to make that a 1-score game. And I mean, because what else do? You have 3 seconds on the clock. You're going to throw a Hail Mary and lose by 3? No, you might as well make it a 1-score game. He knows the spread. These guys know the spread. He had that big smirk on his face. I was personally pissed because I laid it with San Francisco, but I'm doing the same thing with Seattle here. I was so sick I wasn't even able to watch that Panthers game, but I bet them and then I rewatched it and I was sick. Like the bet had already pushed for me, and I was still watching that game like I wanted to throw up and die at the same time. I'm done betting the Panthers this year, at least until I get a better number than this. And I definitely don't want to invest in Andy Dalton. That offense is bad.
Yeah.
Like Adam Thielen is their number 1 target right now.